Hey folks, Kelly Indy Smith here, and welcome to my video. So I just want to start off by saying I am wearing a shirt by Locks in Business, mine and my locks, and my business. Shout out to them. But whatever views that I'm sharing, I am not speaking on behalf of Locks in Business. It is not endorsed by Locks in Business. It just so happens that I picked today to wear this shirt, and I'm making this video the same day. So whatever I'm saying, I'm not speaking on behalf of Locks in Business. I am speaking on behalf of myself, Kelly Indy Smith, and my platform in. So, and also, as an ambassador for the Most High as well. But what I want to talk about today and get into is this movement that we have and this shift that we've had of people who claim royalty without taking up the responsibility of royalty. People who claim the titles king, queen, empress, emperor, god, goddess, lord, like people who claim those titles. And I'm not even speaking in it in terms of like we are created in the image of God, so we are gods. I'm not speaking on in terms of that, because that in itself is a whole other conversation, where we have people who don't even believe in God, but they claim that they are gods and they claim that they are goddesses, and they don't know who God is. They don't believe in God. So I'm not even taking it so deep yet, but I just want to touch on the fact that today in this society and age, everyone is claiming the title of royalty, but what we have are people who refuse to put in the work that royalty requires for us to put in, and people who are just non-willing to act in the standards of royalty and just want the title. And I'm here to say, like, no, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. And I think it has a lot to do with the culture, the age, the era that we're living in, which is kind of like skip turns, skip steps, like cut the line, like go to the front, like, do this easy pay. And if you want to skip this step, you could do it. Like, we live in a society where we're being comforted and molded to skip steps so that we could feel better about our experience, and that we could just do things quicker and faster. And even like with children, like you see that before, when we grew up, there was this challenge where if you're playing a game, you challenge yourself until you could beat the game. Now I watch my little cousins, and they try to play a game, and if they realize it's difficult, they give up. They go on YouTube, they watch people play the game, or they go on YouTube and look for hacks to play or they look for all these things instead of just facing the challenge and going through it. And it's the same with a lot of us, who, like I said, we just claim a title. We claim, empress, we claim emperor, we claim queen, we claim king, we claim goddess, and we don't want to put in the work, and we don't want the responsibilities of what it requires to be that person. We skip the steps. We just want the end goal, which is king, queen, or whatnot. And for me, before, I remember it being that if you call someone a queen, if you call a woman a queen, if you call a man a king, there is something in there that makes you call them that. It's not just, oh, you're pretty, so you're a queen. That's not how it works. It's never supposed to be something where it's a shock factor. Someone becomes king and queen based on their credentials, and if they're fit to rule over the people, if they're fit for service of the people, if they're good leaders, if they have the concept of selflessness. Many times it was them, even representing God. So how are we in a space today where it's like everyone claims that they're kings and queens and goddesses and all that stuff, but we're not acting like it? There are just some things that will never go out of style. It doesn't matter what trend comes in, what patterns, what cultural patterns we get into, what new age we become, what philosophies we adopt, what new teachings people come up with, socialists and all these things. Regardless of where we end up, there are always going to be standards that will never change. And it's going to be more difficult to see persons actually adhere to those standards. Because if you know the Sankofa bird, it looks back to see what was done before so that it may gain wisdom, it gains some kind of clarity. It gains, like some sort of a plan to see where it's going forward. So we turn back to see, okay, what was tradition? And I'm not saying tradition has to always stay, but tradition is tradition for a reason. There are many good teachings rooted in tradition. Because if you think about tradition, tradition goes back way to Adam and Eve. Tradition goes back to the beginning of creation. The truth of it, the truth and spirit of certain concepts, certain stuff we do. So we have a society now where, all that is lost. Like there is none of that. That is not even on like our radar to be like, okay, like how can I be and walk in my queendom, in my kingdom? People don't want to hear that. And what gets me is in today's society, literally you could see a woman twerking, you could see a woman out there like just exposing herself, and they're like, yes, queen. No, no, no queen out there is putting herself out there to expose her body for the common people. A queen is not putting herself out there sexually to expose herself for the common people. And if that is our definition of what a queen is, we are way off. We are way off. Because when you look at it, the queen and royalty is supposed to be set apart from the people. If you claim to be a goddess, if you claim to be a queen, king, all of those stuff, if you claim a status of royalty, you have to be set apart from the people. Which means you live your life a different way. And heavy is the head that wears the crown. So how can you claim to be royalty and it's like you have nothing that you're going after, you have nothing that you're passionate about, you have nothing that keeps you up at night, like I want to figure this out for the people, I want to figure this out for my community. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. If your head is not heavy, you are not royalty. That's the hard truth. I am not saying that we're not all born equal, that we're not all equal and all that, that on the basis we are human, we are made in God's image, we are his children, but we have that choice that we have to make to separate ourselves. A lot of people claim, opportunities, like some people get more opportunities than others. That is very true. But it's not about one person has this opportunity and whatnot. It's what you do with the opportunities you have. Some people have not been given many opportunities and they have done amazing things. Some people have plenty of opportunities and they have done nothing. So it's not even about, you get set up this way in life and whatnot. Like it's not even in context with other persons, but the comparison is in context of who you are. And if you claim this about yourself, you have the responsibility to walk in that way. And as someone who claims this, I have the responsibility to stand up for it. And another thing is like, don't tell me you're a queen. Don't tell me you're a king. I mean, don't tell me you're a god. Show me. Show me that you're a queen. Show me so that I could be like, one love queen, one love king. Show me so that I could bless you. Show me your royalty. Being a queen is not about just putting a status up and feeling like, okay, I'm a queen. Being a queen doesn't mean you do what you want. If you're a queen, you have to put the people ahead of you. You have to think for the people. You don't think for yourself. Not you don't think for yourself, but you don't think selfishly. You live for the people. You live and you die for the love of the people, for the love of the Most High. Are you ready to do that? I think we really need to, these are the conversations that we need to begin having. And honestly, like this is not to try to, you know, prevent anyone or tell anyone to stop calling themselves king and queen and all that. If you believe that you're a king, if you believe that you're a queen, if you believe that you are royalty, this video is saying basically begin acting like royalty. Begin acting like royalty. You have to put your life down for people, for your people. And I'm not just saying, in a cultic way, like your people, but for mankind. You have to put yourself out there in a way that people might not agree with you because you're in a position of power. You're in a position of power and honor. And people should be like wanting to come against that. I'm not saying this to kind of like knock off your crown. I am saying this so that you could realize you need to straighten your crown and walk in that royalty that you claim to have. And if you cannot walk in that royalty, if this video offends you, I'm sorry, you're not cut out for it. Your kingdom is not built, your kingdom, queendom, it's not built on solid ground. Bruh, I've said enough.